Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Mr. Secretary, for being here. I represent the #1 agriculture district in the nation, so it certainly stands to reason that I would share the concerns of my constituents on the tariffs and the various impacts that may take place. As you know, Secretary Perdue has said, or he mentioned that agriculture and ag products are always the tip of the spear in any type of retaliatory action. And let me just suggest that our agriculture economy is certainly not in a position to absorb any spears at this point, given the sensitive nature of and the kind of the downturn in the ag economy that's been in place for longer than we would prefer, certainly. Can you reflect a bit on assurances you can give us that the administration has considered rural communities, rural economies, and our interests in considering what impact the tariff moves might have?
Well, as you know, I work very, very closely with Secretary Perdue and worked very hard on getting the beef exports going again to China, worked very hard on trying to open up some of those markets in South America, and worked hard to deal with the sugar problem from Mexico. So it's not that there's any lack of focus on trying to help agriculture. I also mentioned in the context of the question of your colleague from Florida, the work that we've done trying to work on the seasonal as opposed to annual measurement of agricultural imports. We've also put a lot of pressure on about sanitary and phytosanitary, non-science-based constraints that other countries put on our products. So it really wouldn't be fair to say that the administration has neglected agriculture. Agriculture has been a very important part of our activity.
Sure, and I would reflect, I would agree that the administration, I think, has worked hard for agriculture. I'm wondering if there's any sort of analysis that exists that could point to that recent actions or actions to come will not actually harm or set us back on some of the advances we have made more recently.
Right. Well, in terms of retaliation, there's no way to forecast exactly what a given party would do. But what I would say is the rest of the world cannot feed itself. We all know that. They really need imports from those countries like the U.S. that are very good at agriculture. What that means, if a country tried to impose restrictions on a particular crop from the U.S., it probably would raise their own costs, because there isn't a country in the world excuse me, who pays us 1 penny more for any of our produce than the lowest price that it could get from somewhere else. Nobody does us a favor.
Thank you.